Yeah.
So on the back, you've got an air inlet filter. So this is where the machine draws the air in to then fire it back out of it. And this bit on the back, you have to try and take it off, which I can never get off. You don't need that one. There's a black filter on the back. That basically is just a dust filter. So every month or so, every 2 weeks to 4 weeks, take it out, have a little check. If you've got loads of dust on it, it'll go like a light grey on it. If that's there, just give it a wash in hot soapy water, leave it to air dry, and then once it's dry, pop it back in the machine. Don't worry too much about it, because it doesn't have any like antibacterial properties to it. It's just literally filtering the dust from it. The circuit's got a filter on for her. Okay, so that's just protecting the machine. This is a coolant vent, so try not to have that like right up against the wall or like a blanket over or anything, because that makes sure the machine doesn't overheat. And then down here you've got your plug. So it only fits in one way, it's like a specific shape, and it just shoves in and it'll click. It's got a locking system so it can't accidentally come out. There's a little yellow button on it that you have to press to get it to come out. Okay, and the machine only works if it's plugged in. Okay, so always have it plugged in whenever you're using it. We're not using that bit, so just ignore it. This bit, if you find it hard, kind of, if you're at home, because you'll have to hold the mask on and someone will have to press the button. Would you have anyone helping you at home? Or would it just be you most likely doing it?
Normally, no.
Okay. So, depending on your setup at home, if it's difficult to hold the mask on her face and reach to press the button, depending on where you put the machine, I can get you a little remote that goes in the side, which has got like a bit of a cord on it, so you can hold it and have the remote right next to you. On this side, there's another coolant vent, and then this is where your circuit goes. So your circuit is made of wide bore tubing, and the tubing is the same both ends, so don't worry about getting it confused. That just fits on there, and the bit without the filter and the mask on goes on here, and that just slides on like that. Okay. I'll come back to the circuit. Okay, on the front you've got a couple of lights here. This one tells you that it's running on mains. These ones are like battery indicators, but we don't use the batteries in them, so we'd always say plug it in to use it, otherwise it doesn't work. You've got your on button, so you click that on and it takes a little bit of time to load up. It'll say, are you sure you've got the right circuit? So that just gives you a reminder to make sure you've got everything that's on the circuit. So on your end of your circuit, you've got a little white adapter that goes into your tubing. You've then got a filter, so that's a bacteria filter, and then you've got your mask. It all only goes together one way, so if you deconstruct it for cleaning, it goes together only one way, so you shouldn't get confused. That's antibacterial, and we say, we'll go through the cleaning and stuff, you change that regularly just to make sure it's nice and clean. But if Alicia was to have a really big cough and there was some phlegm in there, you can always get rid of it, and we've got some spares. Okay. So you make sure your circuit matches, you press the tick to confirm it. Down here, you've got a padlock here, and that means the device is locked. So that means even if you press stuff, you can't accidentally change it. So you don't have to worry about if Alicia got any siblings.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about little fingers going in and having a little play. So it's all set for her, because I've kind of mimicked it up with her breathing to do what we think works best for her. As they're using it over this kind of week with her, the girls can have a little playing if they need to, if they feel like they need to tweak it, but we'll try and get it right just for her. Okay, so then if you were to use it, I'll just pop it down. It prefers to be on a flat surface, so if you can either have it on the floor, but sometimes that's hard to reach, so you'd need a remote, or if you can have it on a bedside table next to it. It doesn't like being on the bed, the kind of wobbliness of it, the machine doesn't like it. So you would pop it on Alicia's face. The mask's nice and soft, it's like silicone-y, and it needs quite a bit of pressure holding it on to get a good seal, otherwise it kind of just flies out the sides. So you pop it on Alicia's face, that goes on the kind of bridge of her nose, and this bit goes on the like kind of dimple of her chin. Pop it on with a little bit of pressure, And then when you're ready, you would press go, which is this one here, and it'll run through the cycle. It's going to give her 3 big breaths, nice big long breaths, and then on the 3rd breath, it's going to give her a big cough. And then it'll finish. The big breaths get big air to right through our chest, so get right down to the bottom of bases, and hopefully it'll get underneath the secretions and lift them up. And then the cough is a negative pressure, and it helps almost like suck the secretions up as Alicia coughs. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you would do a cycle. You would see if she had stuff there and you felt like she needed it, you would give her a suction and clear it, and then you would repeat that a couple of times. We would say do it, I'd say minimum do it 2 or 3 times if she's well, but you can do it up to kind of 6, 7, 8, as many as you feel like she needs if she's unwell. Yeah? At the end of the session, sometimes what I say to parents, which is quite nice, is if you feel like you've cleared her chest, and bear in mind, because we're doing the negative pressure, the suck the out breath at the end, sometimes it's nice to just give her some nice big breaths to refill her chest at the end of your session. So once you're happy you've cleared her and you've got rid of the secretions, I sometimes say put the mask back on, run it through again, give her 2 or 3 of these big breaths, but I would say take it off before it gets to the cough. So I would just pull it off like that, so she doesn't get that sucky one, and that just gives us some nice big breaths to finish your session. How does that sound? Yeah.